I got to travel internationally a lot of the time, either attending international conferences or visiting clients. And I think that changed the whole trajectory of my career and also gave me the exposure that I needed to skyrocket my career.
How did you start? How did you even bear the idea even way back in school?
And say you're a leader of tomorrow. But then I would look at those people, they told us that when we were 10, 20, 30, 40, and they're still there.
So yes, I had a lot of energy and I wanted to do things a certain way and I was rude here and I was doing that. Eventually, I was fired.
Were you able to use any of your knowledge in promoting your business?
It's so complicated because I'm such a multifaceted person. I mean, we started in England, Good Hair started in England. Eventually, had to open something in Nigeria.
All hair is processed. You cannot take hair from a donor and put it into your head.
Once you're a public figure, you become a target.
Look at all the companies we started. We have board members from Nigeria, but also from around the world because we want to build world-class companies that outlive us.
Welcome to Omon's Couch, an entrepreneurship and career talk show where we help young entrepreneurs and professionals reach their full potential. My name is Omon, your darling host, and I'll be bringing you amazing guests who have seen it all to educate and inspire you with their story. Our guest today is a partner and head of sectors at Etti Edu, a top Lagos-based law firm. She has more than 33 years of practical experience and expertise in intellectual property law. She is none other than Mrs. Chinyere Okorocha. Let's welcome her to Omon's Couch. Wow, my big sister is on the couch today. How are you?
I'm fine,
you
thank you.
You look amazing.
You look amazing
a bust
too.
Of so many lovely colors.
You did say
glam
with a twist.
I know.
So I hope I did good.
No, you did extremely well. And welcome to Omon's Couch. We're so happy to have you. I know it's not easy, especially with all your busy schedules and all the things you have to do. Being a partner at a very, very prominent law firm must take a lot of your time. But I'm sure my viewers here who are running their businesses or even running their careers, and even they may be lawyers, would love to hear from you, your exciting story. So please, your 33 years of experience in the legal profession, I'm sure you have so much to unburden today. But I know we may not be able to finish everything today, but let's hear enough that we'll take and be able to move forward. So Chinyere, who is the woman behind the brand? I know lawyers don't talk about brand, but now things are changing. Everybody has a brand aside from what they do. So who is the woman behind the brand?
Thank you so much, Omon, for having me. I'm delighted to be here. Who is the woman behind the Chinyere Okorocha brand? She's a strong woman. She's resilient. She believes in herself. She's outspoken, yet she has empathy. She's intelligent and not a dumb blonde.
You're not dumb, definitely. You're not blonde.
But she wasn't created in one day.
Exactly.
And I think what we're all seeing now is the near finished products because I've still got things to do.
Oh, definitely.
So it's been a journey of change, failure, successes, falling down and picking myself back up, learning what works and what doesn't work. I'm hoping I can tell some of that story today to inspire someone else.
Definitely. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will want to know, why did you choose the legal profession? How did you get into it?
Funnily enough, I only became a lawyer. There were two main reasons. One, because I didn't like math.
You're one of those ones who run away from maths and become a lawyer.
Yes, so I was looking for a course that didn't need the sciences,
and maths.
Yes, and then at that time, what was kind of reigning was a professional course, and my dad was a lawyer. So I was already used to law somewhat. And so I thought like law, why ever not?
Yeah.
And that was it. So it wasn't any burning desire to defend people's rights
seriously?
or anything.
And I woke up and said I wanted to be a lawyer from when I understood.
You're a lawyer, right?
Oh yes, I am.
Once a
You
lawyer,
see,
always a lawyer.
I actually had the burning desire from when I was growing up, very young, and like I want to advocate, I want to defend people. I used to say that even as a kid.
Wow.
I ended up not practicing law after 6 years, and you that didn't have the dream is actually carrying on the mantle. Interesting how life and destiny really works out.
Absolutely.
So continue your story.
So I did law, and I think very earlier on I realized the importance of networks and maintaining relationships.
Were you enjoying it? From the early
law.
years?
Okay, so for law, there are different types of law. So initially I went into litigation.
Everybody
starts
goes to
from litigation.
Yes.
But I was always very dissatisfied with the delays in the courts.
Adjournments.
Yes, you prepare your court
Yes.
case overnight, and when you get to the court,
Nothing, you just don't
the
say anything.
flimsiest reason, either that there's no light and the judge doesn't want to sit, or the other side didn't come, so I didn't like that.
Very discouraging.
And so someone in the firm I was in at that time introduced me to intellectual property, which is really property of the mind, anything you can use your human intellect to create. The law allows you to protect it.
Yes.
So I kind of got really interested in it. So I started my intellectual property career very early, and that I found really interesting.
Rewarding.
Yes, and rewarding, because the firm had so many international clients. So when you're driving along the road, you see the billboards of all these, big companies,
brands,
and I felt really happy being part of their success story, which was to protect their brands in Nigeria, And that was where my love affair with IP
started.
As we call it, yes. So
and there are very few experts, even to date, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
They actually
It's a
own that
specialized
area
of the law.
So what has that done for you? What has it set you apart from every other person in the industry?
Intellectual property, I guess the concept of it started internationally and not particularly in Nigeria. So the firm where I was, I guess due to my hard work or my mother was praying really hard somewhere, I got to travel internationally a lot of the time, either attending international conferences or visiting clients. And I think that changed the whole trajectory of my career, and also gave me the exposure that I needed to skyrocket my career. Because when I got out there, I would see women like you and I, confident. They'll stand up and talk, and people will listen. You understand? And they were so knowledgeable about this IP thing. They were speakers. They dressed well. We always like to dress up, carry nice bags. So that was interesting and inspiring to me. And when I would come back, I would try and imbibe the things I had learned. And one funny thing, as I am now, I've visited about 36 countries in the world.
Wow.
So for me, that's really a record. So Asia, America.
Wow. Is it for work?
Yes, for work. I've slowed down a little bit now. But what that taught me is that women are the same the world over. So when we'd go for these conferences, you'd see the Asian women talking about their children, the American women, the Europeans. We all talk about children, we talk about husbands, we talk about stereotypical biases
against women.
So it was very enlightening for me to recognize that the issues in relation to gender equity, gender parity, being a wife, maintaining a work-life balance, it's the same everywhere.
I mean, it's very interesting just listening to you right now. And you talked about going for conferences and meeting people. In your law firm, or I don't know if it's the current law firm or the old law firm, did they always encourage you? I mean, you just started, and they encouraged you by giving you opportunity to go abroad for international conferences, just put you out there, because you didn't talk about having to do intellectual property from the beginning. You just kind of stumbled into it. So were they investing in you? Was it like an investment in you of some sort? Because, you know, people who, we know how law firms are.
Yeah.
If they don't see value, they're not going to do anything.
Absolutely. So one word I have for every woman here, even the young ones starting out, is that whatever your hands find to do it well. So I believe that, because I first of all did my law office attachment with this firm. And I think it's about 6 weeks or something, law office attachment as a lawyer.
Yes, I think it's about 6 weeks.
Yes, so I got to know the firm a little bit. And so when I wanted to do youth service, I also went back there.
Okay.
If I didn't do well the first time, they wouldn't have taken me back.
accepted
So I
you.
now did my 1 year youth
Compulsory
service.
youth service.
And after youth service, there were 2 of us that were youth coppers in that firm, but there was only 1 slot. So I had at the very beginning that I must get this.
It's just like fighting for the seat at the table.
So I went over and above, in everything I would do. I did my job well. And I think the fact that I actually did love intellectual property stood me out. And I was very conscientious. I was hardworking. And so when that 1 slot, was available, I got it.
But you see what you're just saying now, that's not really what people do now. In those days, a lot of us would be privileged to be taken and be picked for a role. But now the mindset I'm not saying all the time, but the mindset for majority of the younger generation is more like the ownership.
You understand?
Yes, like you should know that I should be taken. But we work
They have
towards
an
everything.
entitlement mentality.
So it's so interesting to still hear from you. You're still saying the same thing we've been saying before, that we used to be proud that you have accepted. In fact, I tell people that for me to work where I was working, which was Preston and Grace, I was the one who was happy that they picked me. Not the other way around.
Hear you.
I was happy that they picked me to work for them, not the other way around. So it's a bit, the mindset is a bit different. But I think having this same kind of mindset that we had, they may call it old-fashioned, builds you.
Yeah, it builds you up.
It builds you.
Yeah,
it doesn't take away from you.
Absolutely.
It builds you.
Absolutely.
Okay, as a partner in Etti Edu, you play a key role in shaping the firm's strategic vision. Can you elaborate on your approach to strategic planning and how you ensure alignment with the firm's goals and objectives?
Okay, so yes, I'm a partner now in Etti Edu, one of the more senior ones. When I started in the firm, because I'm a founding member of that firm.
Obviously. They're not the same company the firm you've been working for?
So again, when I talk about what your hands find to do it well, at some point, the founders of the firm where I am now, Etti Edu, decided to break out on their own. I worked with them in my initial firm. And when they were moving and trying to form the new firm, they handpicked a few people.
Okay.
The best of the best. So I happened to be one. So I was invited to join them. So we started the firm from the scratch. There were just 6 of us. I think there were 2 partners at the time, 2 or 3 or 4. But today the firm has grown from just 6 people. We're about 150 people.
Wow.
Like 60 lawyers. We're 15 partners. We have 3 branches in Nigeria. And branches in Ghana, Zimbabwe.
Wow. That's a lot.
Where's that? Cameroon. You understand? So having started from the inception, and seeing the firm grow.
It's like your baby.
It's like a baby.
Yeah.
You understand? So I am invested.
I know. I mean, I see you, the passion that you.
I'm totally
sometimes
invested.
I mention it to you that you attract me to want to go back to law in a somewhat way, but I'm not looking at it. I think I'm now chasing the money. I'm no longer chasing law.
There's no money in law, right?
There is a lot of money in law. Don't even go there. Don't even go there, please. Especially for your type of law firm. Yeah. When you specialize, and of course you have your areas of expertise, definitely the money always comes. But why I like what I do is because there's a lot of impact.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of impact. So that I'm not going to talk about myself. It's all about you today. So
back to your question about strategy. So I just wanted to bring the point that it's that passion that I used to look at longevity of the firm. I recognize, me and the older partners who started the firm recognize that what we need to build is an enduring structure
yes.
so that after us, we're building up the next leaders of the firm. You know, so everything we do in devising our strategy, in our succession planning. By the way, we've just gotten a new managing partner or co-managing partner, and she's a woman.
Hey. Well done.
So Fola Olusoya is eventually going to be the managing partner, but now she's with one of the initial founders. But I must say that my firm, Etti Edu, we're equally divided in terms of male and female, both in terms of leadership and in terms of number of lawyers. So we have 15 partners. I think 7 are women and 8 are men or something like that. You know, so it kind of varies.
There's a lot of balance in
yes,
it.
but
I think
it came about.
I'm going to say you must have influenced a lot of that.
We were instrumental, absolutely. Yes. You know, because it wasn't always like that. We had to fight for some things.
You know, this show is really more of impacting the younger generation and even those who are already even there. And I'm sure they want to understand, fine, you didn't dream of this, but this is something you're doing. You created a niche for yourself, which is intellectual property. Aside from that, how did you get from one level to the next level at every given point in time before you became a partner in this film? Was that something you did out of the ordinary? What exactly did you do? If you're enjoying this episode already, I want you to take a moment to please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave your aha moments in the comment section below. We would love to engage with you. Okay, let's get back to the show.
Again, it will take me back to how I started. I had somebody I would call a mentor from afar. So my office then was in Lagos Island. If you know anything about Lagos, you know that a lot of the law firms were in that Lagos Island area. And there was one woman in the building where the firm was. She was tall, very fair like you. She dressed so well. You know, I like to be well put together. I try, you know.
You do a lot.
You know, and anytime she'd come to my law firm, you know, maybe for a collaboration, a case, you know.
She was a lawyer?
Yeah, she was a lawyer. She carried the briefcase, and she used to wear skirts and blouses. You know, so she would talk and the men would all be listening to what she has to say. Do you understand? For me, that I was intrigued, you know, and for me, I tried to emulate her. So I knew I wanted to be successful. I must also talk about my upbringings. I'm from a very humble home. And we didn't really have money. We didn't have money, but we had love. My mother was a female professional. She was in education. She was the principal of a school. My dad was a career person. He was a lawyer.
That's not too humble. That's just average life.
Yeah, but
let me correct that in a way, because there's a lot down there. Trust me.
My dad was a lawyer. He worked in the public prosecutor's office. You know, so I had role models all around me that helped me to model my own career. And then because we didn't have as much as I would have wanted us to have, I had at the back of my mind that I wanted to be successful. You know, it's a driving force for me. I self-motivate. You know, anything I can do that will lead to success and impact. I'm very much about impacting those coming after me. I just feel that, you know, if I battle something as I rise up the career ladder, the onus is on me. In fact, I owe it as a duty to make sure that those coming after me, that they don't have to go through what I've gone through. You know, so in terms of success, those were the things that you know, you have to be tenacious. I want to tell a story, resilient. Tell a story about where womanhood or motherhood can get in the way. And a lot of the times, women don't advance as much as possible because they have to take time out for childbearing. You see, but that drive that I had, I wasn't prepared to give up my career, and I wasn't prepared not to be a mother or a wife. So an opportunity arose in the firm. One of the times I traveled, for me to travel, I had just had my first child. She was 4 months old, and there was an opportunity to travel.
From the firm?
From the firm for a conference and to do some meetings in the UK. And of course I was breastfeeding. So at that time, one of the, reigning things was breast milk only for 6 months minimum. So this was me. My child was, I think, 4 or 5 months old. Of course, my mom had come to help me. And I kind of thought, what could I do? I don't want to give up the opportunity to travel. And, I want to be a mother. And I said to myself, my child will not suffer because I am a career woman. Yes. So I brought my mom to come and stay. My husband bought a freezer, a deep freezer. We lived in Ikeja then. And then I bought all these baby bottles to express the milk.
For the period you're going to be
So I expressed milk a month before the trip. So that freezer became baby milk freezer. And if you know anything about being, childbirth and all that, that milk can actually stay in the freezer for a year, they say.
That's what was so surprising that you already knew that thing could work.
Because I had to research.
You researched it and you found that.
I remember I was looking for a way out.
A lot of people didn't know about that for a long time to come. It was only recently.
So, and then I traveled. But guess what? I traveled with my breast pump. So we started testing the baby, and to see if she would take to the bottle. So we started her 2 weeks before the trip. My mom was there and everything. So she started taking the milk, and then I traveled with my breast pump. So when I went to the conference, I will go for the conference during the day, and in the evening I will express
so that you don't get
engorged. I hope this is a conversation we can have here.
Yes, we can have it here because this is real stories for women. We go through all of this.
So my goodness, it's madness.
It's painful.
I don't know what drove me to that kind of madness. I don't advise anybody to do it. So the breasts were engorged. I was getting fevers. I had to be on paracetamol. I wasn't expressing as fast as I can.
You wanted the best of both worlds.
But I did it for, I think I was away for 10 days. 10 days.
10 days.
I'm telling you. It was torture. Torture.
It was torture because I know I can only survive like 2-3 days, not 10 days.
So during but when I came back to Nigeria, to the glory of God, I put the baby to the breast and she took it.
Of course.
And so I continued breastfeeding way beyond the 6 month, part. So I guess the story behind it, or the lesson, is that you have to be resilient. You have to be innovative.
Come up with solutions.
You understand? Come up with solutions because you have a goal in mind. And my goal was that I want to be a successful female professional. And I didn't want motherhood, but I also wanted to be a
good mother,
because my family is a core value to me. So I know a lot of women.
You had to juggle it. I won't say balance it, but you juggled it. And I think you did a great job. Now, what strategies have you deployed in your law firm to actually ensure that the firm grows from one stage to another? I mean, looking at the growth trajectory of the firm, what have you done, especially with the fact that your own core area is intellectual property? So what have you been able to innovate or do differently from other lawyers?
Okay, so yes, we started out as an intellectual property firm, but we quickly recognized that there were other areas of the law that we needed to expand into. So we acquired a small corporate commercial practice to build the corporate commercial part of the business. And then, of course,
that's a beautiful strategy.
Yeah.
You didn't have the competence, so you acquired.
Absolutely, with everybody, lawyers, so that initially when we started, the name of the firm was Etti Edu and Co. So the firm we acquired is the Jackson in our name, because the owner of the firm was much older than the partner. So as a sign of respect,
but you put him
first. Put her name. It was a woman.
It was a woman. Okay.
Yes, it was a woman.
Is she still there?
Obviously she's retired. She's in her 80s. But it created a lot of impact, and sometimes credibility, and it helps you to scale. So you can imagine acquiring another practice helps you scale. You understand?
Definitely.
And then obviously you're a lawyer. Litigation comes everywhere. So the litigation department developed. And so we have 3 main departments, but our practice groups are about 9. They span every area of the law. But in every like 5 years, we try and innovate and do something different. So we recently, maybe in the last 6 years, we recognized that the type legal services has changed.
Yes.
The clients want more from you. They don't just want
Not
you to know just
contracts,
law.
yes.
They don't want you to know just
Yeah.
about law. They want you to know their industry.
Yes.
So we developed what we call a sector focus to the provision of legal services. And so we have 6 sectors of interest, one of which is health and pharma. So I head the health and pharma. There was energy and natural resources, FMCG, technology, media and entertainment, financial services, and I'm thinking about the 5th one. I can't remember.
Not a problem.
You understand? So
Yeah.
when you combine,
Because I was surprised to see health and sector
and
again,
pharma,
and
yes.
health and pharma in your own profile.
Absolutely.
And I didn't understand how you merged both of them.
So that's one innovative thing we've done, and it has been amazing to be able to discuss your client's sector with them and help them pick out the areas using your knowledge of the law to help them solve their problems. You know,
That is fantastic. You know, I've been on this other side. I've been on the professional side, and I'm now on the business side. And I have 2 law firms that back my own company personally. And I keep saying, I mean, they are doing well, but I laugh most times. I'm like, I know have the power of the law and the commercial as well as legal in the same sitting. That no matter how they try, they can't just see it. But what you're saying now is an intentional strategy that makes, at least gives you somewhat kind of information, because somehow you can, I would say you may not ever get to know as much as the industry itself, but you will try. And look at the story. You are now fixing the story.
Absolutely.
Not just the legal.
And if I bring it back to myself, again, whatever your hand finds to do it well. So I was given, you know, the task to build our health and pharma practice. And so I entered the industry with my legal knowledge, and you know, I must have done something right. The Healthcare Federation of Nigeria appointed me to their boards. I'm on their executive committee. I'm the treasurer. I'm on the ethics board of some big hospitals here in Nigeria, helping with policy development in the health space. You know, so I keep saying it's so important. You know, you have to bring your intelligence, your hard work, your tenacity to work.
What you are doing.
You know, I believe your work speaks for you.
For yourself,
Yes,
it speaks for itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, you also recognize, and you became a chairperson of the women
MBA, MBA Women's Forum.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think that was fantastic, because before now, had they had one before?
The MBA Constitution has a provision for its creation. So it ran up until, I believe, 2014, and it fizzled out.
Exactly.
So it wasn't until 2019 under Paul Usoro, SAN, as the president of the MBA. He now re-inaugurated it and revived it. At that time, I was asked to be the vice chairperson. But again, after the term of 2 or 3 years of the then chairperson, I was now asked to chair.
Yes, I can see that.
So, you know, your work has to speak for you. If I hadn't done well as the vice chair, I doubt if anybody would have appointed me.
Oh, definitely. I mean, looking at your type of lifestyle, I mean, if somebody knows you, would know that you're a person of excellence. Somebody who reads a lot, somebody who researches a lot, somebody, you don't cut corners. It's not easy breezy. I mean, you have the 30 years plus experience behind you to back you up. I'm not saying that you must have 100 years before you can be successful. No. In law, to a large extent, experience is a game changer. You can't wing it. There's only so much you can do, because time will tell. Those experiences, you have to have them. And for people to be able to, you know, give you those kind of portfolio that you've been blessed to have, you must have shown a track record.
A demonstrated track record of success.
Amazing. And I understand that now, apart from all the positions and the boards that you sit on, a lot more than you have even mentioned, you also do works of impact. And some of them, that led you to found the Hills and Ladder.
Absolutely.
Which I think is profound for career women to have a voice and believe in themselves. If I was still a career woman, I'm sure that kind of a program would be wonderful for me, because when you're running a career, you really feel you're boxed up and everything is just that career. But I believe you can speak more as to what that does, what you're trying to achieve with that foundation.
So I've always been in a position where people, younger female professionals, they keep telling me, I want you to mentor me, I want you to mentor me, I want you to mentor me. You know, so I kind of thought about it, and it was during the COVID years, actually, that it was born, you know, kind of. And I thought, I need to get everybody in the room at the same time. I need a platform to be able to speak to women collectively. I mean, yes, I was mentoring one-on-one, but you know, I'm only one person. You know, and I've got deliverables in my law firm. You know, oh my God.
That's what Almost Couch is all about. Reaching millions through one voice.
Absolutely.
That was my solution too.
Yes. So,
interesting. Yes. We share that.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I'm very girly. I love being a woman. And so I looked for what best describes me. Heels.
And ladder.
And the ladder there represents climbing the career ladder. So that's how it was born. I went for training as a coach. You know, we've got some certifications. You know, there's a process to it.
Exactly.
And then using the experience of all the places I've been to, traveled to, all the women I've met, bringing all that and creating a course for female professionals to.
So how long is this course?
The course is 6 weeks. It's 6 models in 6 weeks.
Okay.
So you can sign up, and you know, you learn. Each model speaks to a certain challenge that I recognize that female professionals have.
Is it paid?
It's paid. It's paid, but you know, I know we're going to talk about CSR, right?
Yes.
So half the time I'm taking people for free, you know. So I have these times when I open it up and I do a challenge, and if you can't afford the course, you can come in for free, you know. So I'm always doing that, and you know,
fantastic.
the impact has been phenomenal. The feedback, the stories that the ladies have,
and you're tracking it.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
You know, one particular girl, she says that she never used to talk in meetings. Do you understand? She doesn't talk. You know, when she gets to the meeting, she will decide that she won't talk.
Invisible.
You know, so but when we did the module on visibility, she decided to start speaking up in meetings, such that
killing herself.
Yeah, her boss now said, there's something different about you. Now gave her one serious portfolio to handle. You understand? She now became the go-to person. In fact, her career just went this.
Up.
Now she's even left that place. She's now in one serious office somewhere, you know, doing something. So that gladdens my heart, you know.
The success stories.
So Heels and Ladders, I call it Heels and Ladders. The course is the Career Acceleration Mentorship course, or CAM course. You know, so that's the platform I use in my spare time, which I have very little of.
I know, but for me, I think I just encourage you to continue to do it, because even if it's one woman, 2 women, as many as you can do, it's an impact of some sort, and it can only grow. And of course, I'm sure you know you would retire someday.
Oh yes.
So that will be something you will do as a full time.
Yeah.
So it's good that you're already doing it.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much for that. Join us on Almost Couch, where inspiration meets action. If you are a remarkable entrepreneur or a career giant with a unique story to share, we want to hear from you. Become our guest on Almost Couch and empower others with your journey, experiences, and valuable insights. Use the link provided in the description below to apply for yourself or nominate someone who deserves to be on this show. Let's inspire together. I've enjoyed everything you have said. Now, looking at everything you've mentioned concerning your journey, how you started, just tell us, for real, becoming a partner in a law firm is not easy. And especially becoming a female partner is even twice harder than any man can even project. So tell us, how did you face any challenge? Was it difficult? I know you must have clamored for it and wanted to become one. You had seen that you have gotten to that state, maybe you're not getting it. But, so what were the challenges you faced, and how were you able to surmount them?
Okay, so one of the things women always face, and I faced, was getting married. Suddenly you're not just by yourself. You're not only responsible for yourself. And in the African context, you have to look after the husband. And before you could say Jack Robinson, you have your first child. So that transition was so difficult for me.
Because you started working before you got married.
Yes.
Yes, it's horrible.
I had started, I was traveling everywhere, you understand? Then I have a husband to take care of, and then I have children, so the transition was very difficult for me at the time. So that would have been a really big challenge, but how did I overcome it? I recognized that I haven't met any successful woman who did it on her own.
Exactly.
You have to have help. Ask for help. That help can be your mother.
And I'm sure you had a supportive spouse too.
I'm coming to the spouse bit.
Okay.
So let's start
from
the mom, the mother-in-law, bringing a cousin, a relation, a house help if you can afford it. No successful woman does it on her own. You have to have a tribe of people who are all part of that success story. And then, of course, the man you marry matters. Exactly. I have a very understanding and supportive spouse. Honey, I love you. And I can be a handful. So he indulges me, he encourages me. He's my biggest supporter. So I think for some women, it's not like that. And what happens in your personal life can affect your career. Life, so that's one box that you really need to tick off, especially in the African context. So that will be it. So and then I also talk about having people who will speak for you when you're not in the room. So knowing that you have to build relationships both within your organization and outside. One challenge I had at some point, even as I was trying to rise up my career ladder, I lost a big account.
Wow.
So it was a client, a South African client. That client, we were earning over $500,000 from them in a year.
You obviously didn't do it intentionally.
No, the client, the work we were doing wasn't done properly. Okay. It wasn't only my job, it wasn't me, but I was the head. So uneasy lies the head. So somebody had to be the scapegoat. So we lost that account, but I didn't realize on time that I was being penalized for it. So again, the importance of having people that will speak for you when you're not in the room. So I wasn't growing as fast as I should. So eventually I realized that was a big mark on my career.
They just marked it and just kept it there.
Thank you. So I started working, really hard to, try and prove, make sure the accounts I was handling, even if I wasn't there. Because, we always talk about delegation for female professionals, but delegation is important. I mean, I thrive on it, but sometimes you still have to keep your eye on what's going on, which is what I didn't do with that account, so going forward,
you just trusted 100% and thought they would do what you
would be done.
told them to do.
Yes, so that's another thing. Challenges and how to overcome them. I think women have to learn to say no sometimes.
To what now?
Opportunities that come your way and you don't have the bandwidth for it. Okay. Sometimes
like work now you're
yes, work. I'm referring to work, so
you get so inundated with a lot of work and you say no.
Do you know how many speaking requests I got? Is different. For International Women's Day from all over the place. At some point you have to say no. Or you get an opportunity to go somewhere to represent your firm, but you have to make that choice between your sanity and all that. You have to learn to say no to some things. And then your health.
Yes.
A lot of women, we nurture, we're nurturers. We look after everybody else, the husband, the children the aged parents, and we forget to look after ourselves. And that's why a lot of women end up becoming burnt out. You're tired all the time. You understand? Your output.
Serious mental health issues too, but they don't even know.
Can't really give from an empty cup. So women, we must learn to take care of our physical health as well as our mental health. Do your checks, you understand, regularly, yearly, depending on your age. What are all of the mammogram and pap smear? You know, don't take your health. I had to do a health check myself about 5 years ago, when I started having all these ailments. My weight was a big problem. I was getting
really gone so good.
I'm trying.
You've done so well.
It was a wake-up call for me, and I had to take my health more seriously. And I tried to take...
There's a big difference now, you can see.
So those are some of the things that can be challenges. The last one I'll mention is your relationship with other women within the firm. Sometimes they say that women are their own worst enemy. But I have always tried to thrive on the fact that I have to make the women my allies, as well as the men. Making men allies is easy. It's the women, because we have so many issues. I know. There's jealousy, there's cattiness.
And it just happens. Even when you didn't even plan it to happen.
So I try and go the extra mile.
I see it in your
with people around me, so I try and be nice. I think, your attitude sometimes will determine your ultimate, as they say. So I think building relationships is key, both within your organization as well as outside. And it's those networks and relationships that you build that you can use to leverage yourself for growth. You can use to learn for more, about opportunities that are not in the public domain. You can have people that will speak for you when you're not in the room. Most of the appointments I've had, I don't know where they come from.
Your good work has spoken for you.
Yes, if you check my social media, I'm very active on social media. Yes. A lot of women my age are not.
I know.
I got so many recognitions. I didn't even know I had them.
Saw them.
I saw they tagged me.
A lot of them.
They tagged me on International Women's Day. So I was just looking through my tags yesterday. And I said, really? I didn't know all this.
I saw all of them.
So, again, I guess it speaks through. I don't like to be associated with failure.
No.
I try and exhibit a spirit of excellence in a lot of the things I do. It doesn't mean I'm perfect. I am far from perfect.
Of course.
But if you fall, you try and pick yourself up. You fall, you pick yourself up. Learn from your mistakes.
Well done. And I'm going to ask you a question. In all this career trajectory, moving from the lowest part to where you are today, phenomenal, and also an expert in your field. Have you thought of one day where you said, I want to quit, this is too much for me? Or there are
As
many
if you
days.
knew.
There's I think a lot of people have had many days, but some people don't have at all.
When I was turning 50, I had, it was a thing.
Like
it was a thing like, where am I? What am I doing with my life? So I'm a successful lawyer in a law firm. I've reached the pinnacle, which is to be a partner. I had a couple of recognitions, but I just felt there was so much more in me to give. So I did think about quitting my job. I wanted to quit. I didn't think I could have the bandwidth or be able to do other things while still being a lawyer. So then I delved into a life coach. I went for some programs, that helped me gain clarity about who I was. And there was a particular coach that I attended his program. I'll mention him, the Catalyst.
Okay, the Catalyst.
Yes, I had a session with him. And one of the things he said, and it was my friend Udo Konjo had the program and brought him there to speak. Udo runs another initiative, ACE
Business Club.
Yes, exactly.
Which I'm a member.
Oh, wonderful. You see? So one of the things he said was that there are many aspects to who you are. And you must learn to express them all. So for me, that was a light bulb moment. Wow, I didn't need to stop being a lawyer in order to be a mentor, in order to be a speaker, in order to be a coach. Do you understand? So that
we
really
have
broadened
different expressions of ourselves.
Thank you. And I sing. I have a good singing voice. So I've decided that when I get to heaven, God's gonna ask me, what did you do with the voice I gave you? So it's still on my bucket list to release a song or something. So I'm trying to live life to the fullest, and that means exploring all aspects of me.
You want to empty everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really an interesting one that I think every woman reaches a point in their life, and you have to step back and ask yourself questions. So in order to be able to express those parts of me, you know, even though I had an executive assistant in the firm, I got a personal assistant to help me in my personal capacity. Yeah. Do you understand? So I started building my business, other things I do. I mean, I have other businesses.
And I'm sure those expressions actually gave you fulfillment.
Fulfillment.
So you didn't have to stop anyone for the other. Yes.
Totally. I love being a career woman. You know, I love the fact that, you know, women like you, you know, that you are so inspiring, you know, the way you look, the way you dress, the fact that you're so intelligent, running your business. You know, I love that. And I love your suits, your power suits. You know, so always so well put together. And I love that about being a woman. Sometimes people ask me, are you a women leader? And I say, no, I'm not. Or a feminist or whatever. No. You know, I'm definitely not. I want to be a woman, but I still don't want to be discriminated against. I wouldn't trade being a woman for anything. Yeah. So you'd never see me trying to be a man. I would be a woman, you know, and still get what I want.
Fantastic story. I think your story is very I don't even know how to express it. It's very real, it's very authentic, and it tells a beautiful career story and a journey of intentionality, purpose, resilience, God's grace ultimately.
God's
and
grace.
Of course, you've been pushing through every hurdle to where you are today. Now, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Oh my God. In the legal space, one of the things I realized is that female lawyers kind of are timid. They don't recognize that they are in a business. You understand? You know, law is a very proud profession.
That's how we're groomed.
It's how we're groomed.
In fact, I never used to understand in those days when I was in the law firm, they were not supposed to sell.
Yeah.
We don't advertise, we don't do this. I didn't even understand those laws and policies.
You know, so I want to leave a legacy where I have impacted enough women to come out of their shell, change their mindset, embrace their wholeness,
of what they can become.
Speak their truth. Become confident in yourself, what's and all, you know, what.
They must have a lot of bundles of talent.
Yes.
A lot. It's just that you were lucky to find yours through help. A lot of people have.
So that's really one of the things I really want to, I'm trying my best with the NBA Women's Forum, which is the umbrella body for all the female lawyers in Nigeria. There are over 50,000 of us. Yes, so we run a lot of programs on mentorship, you know, on personal effectiveness, on work-life balance, which is the big one, or work-life integration, as they like to call it now. You know, so that's the legacy I want to leave. One of impact, one of being an inspiration to those who sometimes struggle to find clarity in their careers.
Well done, well done. A beautiful story we've all heard today, and I'm happy to have had you on this couch. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We've all learnt a lot. I think I'm still learning from you. I've gotten a lot of insights and things I have to do and how to go about them. And I think one of the beautiful things is just being intentional and just believe that you have different expressions of yourself. So don't shut down one for the other. I think that's very critical. You can do so many things. Because at a certain stage in every woman's life, and I think it happens to most women, you find that you start asking yourself, what's the meaning of life? But if you can find yourself in those other expressions, you find that you live a fulfilled life.
Absolutely.
And it's so remarkable when you get there. And it's just like this show, I say, I'm so happy. You can't even imagine when I do this show. Wow. That's an expression of myself.
Absolutely.
Which I just found out, and I'm happy.
That's wonderful.
So even if my job has been making me feel a bit down, no, this keeps me going.
That's wonderful.
So thank you, because you're also echoing that knowledge and information, and I'm sure every of our viewers have heard us. Thank you so much, Big Sis Chinyere, as I call you. Thank you for coming on Mama's Couch. Now we're going to the fun segment of this episode, and we're going to be asking our big sister the trivia question, and the question goes like this. In a website browser, address bar, what does www stand for?
World Wide Web.
Ah, she knows it. Hey, you're too intelligent. You know, I didn't even know the answer until I saw the answer. Well done.
Okay.
Yeah, because you do work. How did you go? How did you get there?
I mean, I'm trying not to be a dinosaur.
I know.
So I keep myself updated. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm on
learning things.
Facebook. I'm on
Twitter.
X. I'm on Threads. I'm on, of course, LinkedIn, and have a website too.
Beautiful.
With my brand name, building my personal brand. So obviously, I would know.
Well
what that means.
done. She got the answer. Well done. Thank you so much for coming. And we had a wonderful time.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a wonderful time. And I just want to encourage you to continue. What you're doing on Omon's Coach makes a difference. It's inspiring. You know, it's fun. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. So congratulations on this wonderful initiative. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And thank God for everything too. Thank you. Thanks for watching Omon's Couch. I'm sure you're eager for another inspiring story. So click here to watch another episode or click here to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.